Alright, here we are.
So when you do a podcast, you're supposed to look at me.
Yeah.
But that's kind of hard though,
Wait, I need my phone.
because we're like kind of like far away. All right, Dustin. I'm super excited to be interviewing you today. I'm honored, and I'm excited. I have a few questions for you, and yeah, I know like a lot of people want to know more about you, your story, your background. To get started, first thing first is I guess we should probably introduce ourselves.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dustin. I go by the name Dustout on a lot of my socials. If you guys didn't know what it meant, it means dust in, but then I switched the in to out. So I'm dust out. I used to use it as a placeholder, like when I'm saying goodbye or something, but that's who I am. I go to Cal State Feautring with Tex here, and we're both marketing majors in our senior year.
Senior year, yeah. Funny thing about your name actually is I didn't understand what your name was exactly. I was like, dust out as in like you disappear. But then it took me like a few months or so, and I realized, I was like, wait a minute, dust in, replace the in with out, and you get dust out. I'm surprised you have that IG at too. I thought more people would get that, but you're the one who got that.
Yeah, I was one of the first ones to get that Instagram handle like back in like middle school when Instagram was like just a thing. So I was pretty lucky with my username.
Yeah, I like to say. My name is Tex. I am a fourth year marketing major at Cal State Fullerton with Dustin, and I take photos, and my Instagram is my name, Tex and Win.
What's your full name, Tex?
My full name, that will be for another discussion.
Another discussion.
Another discussion.
not in this podcast.
Because if I tell you the whole story, it's gonna be super long.
Yeah.
Right. And today is a podcast about you.
True.
Right. So I guess the first question is, a lot of people want to know like how we met.
Yeah, so me and Tex met a really long time ago, actually. I would say about almost 4 years ago. We met on social media, but like one of the first times meeting was like in this area right here in this park. So this park holds a lot of value because I shot my first wedding here with Tex, and this is like when Tex like introduced me to like the world of like photography and videography. So this place means a lot to us. Especially this where we're sitting right now, because like this is like when we shot like our first couple shots here, and I didn't really know anything about like videography or photography until you showed me. So I gotta thank you for that, man. Like, but we met mainly on social media though. Like he shot out a DM to me saying like how like cool my stuff is or like whatever, and like we wanted to meet in person for the first time. I mean, we go way back. I remember the first time we hung out, we hung out like orientation day. That was like the first time we saw each other at orientation day, and then it was from that moment on, like this guy is like freaking cool. Like we switched our majors, and we also went to go eat Denny's for the first time too. Like it's insane.
Yeah, so I remember, funny you say, was I was looking through going to college, right, university. Like obviously I didn't really know that many people going in. So the thing I did was I would go to the Instagram page for freshmen, right? And I believe your picture was like one of the first ones on the top. And I was like, oh, cool. Like this Dustin guy, he lives around the same area as me, because based on your bio and everything. And you at the time you were into singing, you played football, and I was like, oh, this guy's like pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm Asian too. Like that's pretty surprising. So.
And then I was like, at the bottom of it, you put that like your your orientation day was the 12th. And I was like, oh shoot, like mine's the 12th, right? So I reached out to you. I was like, yo, we got the same orientation day. And he's like, yo, that's sick. And then yeah, that's basically how we started. We ended up meeting orientation day, and then after that just got closer and everything. Funny thing about Dustin was that at the time he had an Android phone.
Yeah.
And
not the Android, bro. Don't talk about the Android.
No. Dude, he had an Android phone, and I remember that when he took out his phone, right? I didn't say anything, right? This was like right when we first met, and then he looked at me. He was like, "You got a problem with this?" And I was like, no, I didn't say anything. But then
I have an iPhone now.
He does have an iPhone now. But I remember at that moment, I was like, "Dang, this guy got some humor. Like, you're a funny guy."
Yeah. I always press people that made fun of my Samsung, basically. But there's nothing wrong with Samsung, guys. Like I would get a Samsung again if I wanted to.
No, if people look at your old class or your old video. You have like a whole Vietnam video using your Samsung.
Yeah, check that video out on my YouTube. I'll put in the link.
But yeah, Dustin, I'm glad to hear about how we met. I would like to talk about like what was life growing up for you. What were your hobbies or things you like to do growing up?
Yeah, growing up, actually, I never really knew about the creative world, honestly. I was just like aimlessly looking for something to do, like whatever I liked, I did, like I did a lot of things in high school. I played sports, I learned how to sing. I tried a lot of different things, honestly. And in high school, it kind of like showed me like over time like what it meant to be like a creator, like I watched a lot of YouTube videos also, but I didn't really know what it meant at the time. Like I just enjoyed watching a bunch of like travel videos and like watching like famous YouTubers like Sam Colder. I would watch some like Elliot Choi or something like that, but I didn't really know how to start my career in the creative world, like I was just aimlessly wandering. And then growing up, like I realized that maybe I was a creative person because like of all the things I was trying, like I never stuck to one thing, or like I never like told myself I would do just one thing. I mean, I did like go into like a major in comp sci or whatever, but I realized that I knew that path wasn't for me because I didn't want to do like sitting behind a computer like coding for like such a long time and like do a bunch of math or some shit. But I mean, I'm glad I switched majors with you, dude. Like we're doing like we have a lot more free time. I was able to like grow into my passions, like what I really love to do. And still to this day, like I'm still doing what I'm trying to do. Like I'm logging for 24 days straight. Like I've never done that before, but it's fun and it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm learning a lot through it. So
I mean, you're doing really great things, man. I remember when I first met you, you didn't really know much about cameras at the time, because I would talk to you about cameras, and I mean, obviously you said that you didn't really know that much, but what you did show me was your YouTube channel at the time, and you would like create these like travel videos and stuff of like my year, I don't know, like 2013, 15, or 16, I guess, at the time, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like this guy's like really good at editing, but like imagine what he could like create if he like knew how to use a camera or had more experience in using a camera, right? So like that's what I found out about you, and I was like, hey, like, I mean, I'm trying to get more into like the camera world, because basically I was kind of like starting out. I think maybe I was a few months into that. I started beginning of 2019, and then you started like middle of 2019, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I meet this guy. He's becoming my friend. We should probably like grow together in this whole creative world. And I mean, like, super proud of you, because I mean, when we were like working on everything, every single day you're like, yo, let's get this camera. We got to upgrade from this camera.
Yeah. I remember those days. We would basically just resell our cameras to get a newer used one.
A newer used one.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first cameras you got. It was the Sony A6000, and then we ended up like splitting 50-50 for that camera.
Yeah, we did.
Because at the time we didn't have that much money. It was like $150, like what, $300.
Yeah, we had nothing.
And we met up at some guy at the mall, and like we bought the camera from him.
I remember that day. That's when you got your new car too.
Oh yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's when you got your car.
Yeah.
I remember we went to South Coast Plaza, and like we were trying to get a lens too or something like that.
Yeah.
Damn, the offer-up days. The offer-up days were really good.
The offer-up days, yeah. But then ever since that camera, it was like every single time you're like, okay, I just got this camera. You try it for like 2 weeks, and then you want to go for the bigger one, and then the bigger one.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. I feel like that's like every content. I feel like that's every videographer, photographer. They always want to get the bigger one. Like I'm still not satisfied with my camera right now. I want a newer one right now too. But like, who doesn't,
Oh yeah. So videography, man. Like, how long you been doing it for?
Well, I didn't really grow into like videography like a lot until like last year, 2021.
Yeah.
Like that's when I realized like I could get more emotions out of videography, like I could capture a lot more stuff with video. And just like watching through other people's YouTubes and stuff, like I really enjoyed how people were able to make such seamless videos, and I wanted to basically replicate what they did, And I'm not saying I don't like photography, but I do love photography too. But my interest is more in videography, and I want to show more of my life through that, because you can't really do much with that with photography, but in video you can.
Yeah.
So I hope to inspire my work through video, but I'm not really big yet, but hopefully one day.
Well, I do agree with you too, because I mean, as a photographer myself, like one of the things that is a lot harder nowadays, and it could be more like easier to show is storytelling. It's a lot easier to do storytelling through videography, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just create everything with that. And also when it comes to like building yourself up, like what kept you motivated to keep going, and how were you able to learn? Like, do you take classes? Were you like learning off YouTube, Skillshare?
I would say the one thing that kept me motivated was meeting a lot of people like me, especially with Tex here. Like, we were like through it thick and thin when it comes to like these creative journeys that we've been through. Like, we've been through everything. Like, we're doing a podcast right now.
Yeah, podcast.
We're still like shooting till this day, and it's been like 4 years or whatever. And like I met a lot of other people too. I met like one of my other close friends, Micah. Like, he showed me a lot of the video industry, and like he helped me like immerse myself in it more. And like just a lot of other friends that we've met along the way. Like, whoever I met, Tex met also, and like they've helped us like build ourselves as content creators, you know. And even though we're still trying to find our style right now, like I feel like we will find it soon. And once we do, the day we do find it, we're gonna go, you know. We're not gonna look back anymore, because I'm still so grateful for like those small like little moments, those little shoots we have, and like it's crazy like where we are now. Even though we're not big, but like it's still crazy like how far we came along.
Oh yeah, so definitely a work in progress, and like every single time, every single shoot, I mean, looking back on your phone or looking at a clip always bring back to like a certain memory. I mean, which is one of the reasons why like I started in the first place too, because I wanted to document wherever I was going, whether it was a photo or a video. I wanted to like remember back at the times. Like, you throw me a photo, I could always tell you the entire story. I mean, same thing with you too. I mean, looking back, any single clip that you do or any single video that you create, you obviously there's that video itself, but you could always tell like the moments in between, and you could always remember those things. Because I mean, really, if we don't have any ways besides our memory, how can we document things, right?
Exactly. Our memory and our cameras, man. Like, that's the one thing I tell people. That's why I love having a camera so much, and it's probably the best investment you can have in college, you know, like capturing memories and like using that to like build yourself a brand, you know. It's insane how much you can do with it.
Yeah, and especially during that time too, especially in like 2019 and everything. This was way before TikTok got popular, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and like photography and videography at the time wasn't even that like big. Like, it just skyrocketed more because of social media. And at the time, I knew, and I think we both talked about it too, how like we knew like the digital era was coming. We just didn't know how it's gonna work, but we knew it was gonna get there. And I remember we had this conversation talking about how if we like document and then take time to like learn how to use a camera and more on like the digital world of like creating, it definitely could get us somewhere, right? Where and then I like to touch up upon like what kept you motivated to keep going, right? And then if there's anything you would say to somebody out there who's watching, like what can they do to like have a rapid experience and learning, I guess like learning in general when it comes to like video?
Yeah, I would say if you're starting out as a videographer, photographer, you know, you gotta keep being consistent. Like, do free shoots, you know. I feel like when it comes to like doing free shoots, that's like probably the most important. That's where I learned the most. And just working with like a friend or something, and like just having someone that supports you throughout the way, because I feel like without my friends, I probably would have been done with this a long time ago. And without your support, Tex, like I probably would have been done like before I even met you, bro. Like, you gave me an opportunity here. Like, you let me borrow your camera gear, and I'm grateful for that, you know. Like, I'm so glad I was able to give back and stuff too, you know. Like, so I would say for anyone starting out, also like just like keep building your portfolio, keep learning how to like learn your craft, because over time it's gonna take a long time to find your style. Like, I still haven't found my style yet. You know, I'm trying a bunch of different things here, but I'm never gonna get bored of this, you know. Like, there's no like one way to do this. It's like, it's not a plug and play like system. Like, you can do however you want to do it, whatever creative work you want to do with this, you know. So just keep going. Like, just keep going. Like, you know, like I don't want to look back and be like I stopped. Like, I want to say like I quit so early on, because I know I'm gonna regret that, and you guys are probably gonna regret that too if you quit now. So just keep on going, keep being yourself, and learn your craft more.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you mentioned about like keep going and everything. One of the things that like I feel like a lot of people nowadays have trouble is that they give up way too early, right? And
Yeah, they do.
if you give up way too early, where like you're gonna regret the most. I think there was a specific quote, I don't know exactly though, but there's a specific quote where it says that the amount of the biggest regrets that you have isn't about like the things that you tried. It's the things that you didn't try, right?
Yeah.
So you always see like, what will happen if I kept going with this, or what will happen if I kept going with this, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we don't know. We don't know where or what is like the right pathway for us. The only thing we could do is just try, and work very hard at it. And if we know that we like it, we'll keep going. But if we know that we don't like it, then maybe we'll take another step in like the different direction.
Yeah. That's why you gotta make sure you always gotta keep trying. Like, never try too many things at once. You know, just focus on one thing and just keep compounding at it.
Yeah, and try to get really, really good at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you really brought up about the whole friendship thing and having like a nice circle around, right? When it comes to like having a nice circle, like how do you know when somebody belongs in your circle, or somebody that you think is gonna help you within whatever journey you have?
I feel like the people that belong in my circle, like I don't think there's like a certain fit for me. You know, I just feel like the person that is always gonna be there to support you and you can trust,
Yeah.
they're always gonna be there. You know, like you can't like expect someone to be there for you, you know, all the time. But you have to learn to get their trust and gain their trust. You know, so I never like expected anything much from my friends, but I'm just so glad that the people that are still with me now, like I can still trust them till today, you know. And I'm still like meeting a lot of new people, but the ones that I met like long before and they're still with me now, like I'm really grateful for them, and I really thank them, you know.
The day ones.
Yeah, the day ones.
The day ones. Yeah, I like how she brought up about the whole, I guess you could say like qualities in friends. Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, the qualities in friends, like the people that you can trust them. They can keep your secrets, anything really. Like they're always there to support you, like even at your lowest lows, your highest highs. They're always gonna be there.
Yeah. I remember you touched upon how you want somebody, or like you want friends who obviously want the better for you, right? And that's like for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like all my friends, I want them to strive to be the greatest, to be the best they could ever be, right?
Yeah.
Like I just want them to be better, and I want them to like grow and like be the person they've always wanted to be, right? So, I mean, obviously your channel right now, you're doing a 24-day video streak, right? How's
Yeah.
that going?
It's going good, you know, like people think I can't do it, but I'm gonna try to do it, you know, like even though I'm not doing it for the gift, I'm actually trying to do this for myself, because I know that there's like only a couple days left in the year, and I've been posting like once every other 2 months, and that's just really bad, you know, like I told myself I would get 1,000 subscribers at the end of the year, but I didn't attest to that. So
What are you at right now?
I'm at 455.
455?
I grew about 300 something subs this year.
Hey, that's halfway there. Almost
Yeah,
halfway there.
Which is not bad, you know, like 300 subs for posting like at least like 8 videos this year, like that's not too bad. So I feel like if I was more consistent, I would probably hit that goal right now. And I just and like through learning about posting every day, like I've learned a lot already. Like I've learned like what content I should make. I've learned about tags, like when to post, like how to set deadlines for myself when making these videos, and just over time like helping me confidently like talking on camera. Like it's helped a lot. Like I don't mind like walking around holding the damn camera around anymore. Like it's just for YouTube, you know, like.
Yeah, dude, and definitely it really does help out with everything, and builds up your, I guess you could say, like work ethic when it comes to like editing, right? Because there's a lot of editing, dude.
Yeah, it does work. It does help a lot. And I'm so glad I'm doing the challenge right now. I'm like, what? This is my 4th video I'm about to post, and I have like about 20 more vlogs to make. And the only thing that's challenging me right now is like, how am I gonna do this during class and like go home and edit? Because I also have like projects due, and then I have like finals coming up.
Yeah, you picked the hardest month to do it, man.
Yeah, I did. But it's Vlogmas. You
Vlog-
know, gotta figure out how to do it.
Vlogmas, gotta
I'll
make it
figure out a
work.
way to do it. You know, I'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure you're gonna get really far and make it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin. So I do like to touch upon productivity. You have any productivity tips for like the people watching?
Productivity tips. I do have a couple actually, and these are actually habits I started learning like this year. I would say having a calendar is very important. I use Notion. I don't know if you guys know what Notion is, but
Not sponsored.
that's not sponsored by me. That's not sponsored. What do you use? Do you use Google Calendar?
I use Google Docs.
Google Docs?
Yeah.
You use Google Docs. I use Notion, but I feel like everyone has like a certain way of like documenting their day. But I use Notion mainly just because the interface is easy to use, and I always like to plan out my week. beforehand. I don't like planning out in months because I feel like that's just like you're just underestimating like what can go wrong or something. But estimating by your week is probably better. I do like my homework, any projects that have come up. I do work, you know, like any content I have to make this week. But I'm a pretty busy person. That's why I have a calendar to keep me in check. And other productivity tips is like, I don't know. I should probably learn to sleep earlier. That's one important thing. I don't sleep that early sometimes, but I should learn to sleep earlier. I feel like sleeping earlier is gonna help you a lot. And like honestly, like eating throughout the day too. Like you gotta eat stuff to like help you feel energized throughout the day because that's what helps you like have your energy through the whole day. So eat right, sleep right, and have a calendar is probably the main things I can say to help with my productivity.
No, I agree with you too. Those like one of probably the three most important things, like staying organized, eating,
Yeah.
making sure you eat like the right foods to help your you perform well, and sleeping too, because sleep is very important. I think like a lot of people nowadays they're into like limiting their amount of sleep so they could work more. But like for me personally, like I felt that the more sleep I get, the more efficient I do when I'm doing my work, right? And I'm allowed to be more productive, and also helps me reduce my stress too because I try not to stress too much whenever, especially in the creative world, we stress out a lot because we're using so much of our mind just creating our work. So I feel that like if I can just find ways to limit stress, I'll do it, right? And what that really helps me is getting more sleep.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to achieve too. Like, sleep is important, guys. Especially when you get older, sleep is the most important thing. As you get older, it's gonna be the only important thing.
Yeah.
Health is wealth, man.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth. All right, and I guess to wrap it up, this podcast, one last question I have for you is, Dustin, is what is your biggest life lesson?
Dude, that's a great question. Biggest life lesson here.
Biggest life lesson. You could go on, tell about a story. Like if you would choose one life lesson, what would it be?
That's a good question, Tex. I would say my biggest life lesson is trust. Trust is so important. You know, like throughout all my years, I've lost a lot of friends, but I've also gained a lot of friends too. And like when I say I lose friends, I lose them in like probably like the worst ways possible. Like, and it's probably because of like broken friendships and trust and stuff like that. But then when I gain friendships, it's kind of like I gain them in a good way because I trust them, you know, like, and they trust me and they support me throughout the whole way. And like all the friends that I've had now, like to this day, like I can trust them, you know, and I can trust them to keep secrets. I can trust them to like do something for me, like literally do anything for me. And I don't even like give much sometimes, but like they're still willing to do that for me, you know. Like and that's why I value my friendships so much, because they've helped me so much in like ways I can't even comprehend, and they helped me build like the person I am today, you know. And like for those who are watching, like I'm really grateful, you know. Like I say like all these things, but like I can't ever like thank you guys enough. And yeah, trust is just so important to me. And yeah, I don't have a lot of words to say, but yeah, trust.
Trust.
What do you think? What's your biggest
My biggest life lesson?
Yeah.
I think my biggest life lesson is to keep pushing yourself, all right? And let me explain more of that. So anyone in any type of industry or anything, any type of new hobbies you want to do, you're always going to deal with some form of criticism. And I feel like that would be with anything really. Like, I mean, when we first started out with photography, videography, like we weren't that good, right? And I'm pretty sure, I mean, nobody really said to our face, but like pretty sure people out there would criticize us in a way, and that could get to us, right? Because obviously it's something we consider like a passion, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the greatest leaders out there and the greatest people that are good with their craft were never like the best starting out, right? You always have to start somewhere, and that's very important. So if there's like something that you want to do, just keep pushing it and just ignore everything else and just work really, really hard at it, because eventually one day will be your day, and one day you will be like the person I guess you always wanted to be. But it all starts with day one, baby steps and everything, and just dedicating yourself to your craft.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And like that goes in with pushing yourself, because a lot of people, like I'll say this right now, like a lot of people, they're not ready to deal with criticism. Like they'll take it way too hard, and they won't like use it, right? But I feel like for me and you, we used our criticism to fuel ourselves, because I mean, obviously if there's criticism, there's something that like this person or like these people do not like. So what we do is we work really hard so we could change their minds. We push ourselves. And I think that would probably be my biggest life lesson, because I've felt like I've dealt with a lot of criticism throughout my time. However, I was able to push through it and keep going. And obviously I'm not perfect today, and I don't think I'm like where I want to be. But I mean, I've always remembered that like just because of where I am right now would not be where I am 5 years from now. And I mean, the difference between me now and me 5 years from now is that me 5 years from now knows something and is good at, I guess, better at something than I am now. So if in order for me to get better, I just got to understand where I have to be and like the steps I need to take to get to where I need to be 5 years from now. And hopefully I do it faster, and I will improve from there.
Yeah, we're both pretty young, so we still have a lot of time, and we can still learn and grow from this. So I'm just excited for where we're gonna be in the future. But criticism, trust, and never giving up is really important things, and that's something we all learned, and it's something that we can use for our future advantage.
Yeah. All right. Dustin, I really do appreciate this. I think we had a really nice podcast. First podcast on your channel. And I hope your viewers and everything know more about you, and I guess a little bit more about me too.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Thank you, bro.
Of course, man.
Of course. Let's go.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
See you guys. Peace.